All right. Good morning, at least morning here, and happy hump day, happy Fed day, happy IWJ squeeze sniper release. Guys, we're really excited about this indicator that we've created. And if you're new here, guys, today we're going to go over a couple things. We've got our flagship, which is IWJ Pivot Point Pro, which we'll look at in just a second. And we've also got our squeeze sniper, which you can see on the screen here as well. The squeeze sniper is going to be these yellow, red, blue boxes, and we'll go over what all of those mean. And then the Pivot Point Pro are these buy and sells that you see on the screen. We did put out a massive update on Pivot Point Pro that has been incredible. It has filtered out a ton of the um, things that you normally have to do, like is it a trend day? Do I have three strikes and you're out? Um, is there, you know, sorry, is there all the settings right on all three charts? Do you have to change the settings when you go to every other stock? None of that. You don't have to do any of that anymore. We also give you buy and sell warnings to tell you that, hey, there could be a sell coming. It doesn't mean a sell is going to come. You can see SW, a sell warning. A sell doesn't actually come because the conditions didn't get met exactly for whatever reason. I don't know on each one. And then it's also now tradable basically all day long if you want to. I still encourage you to only trade 9:30 to noon Eastern Standard Time, the open until basically lunch. That's the best time. But you can see here in the after hours right here, this was 5:45 a.m. You got a buy signal, absolutely crushed. Got a sell signal, did well. Got a sell signal, crushed. Got a buy signal, crushed. Got another buy signal here. You probably stopped out on this one, but still, it was the indicator knew that the buy was coming. It was just a little early. It's an absolutely great product, but even better than that, even bigger than that, even more incredible than that is what we're calling IWJ Squeeze Sniper. It finds these squeezes and absolutely kills them, and it gives you literally everything you need. It holds your hand like you're in preschool and walks you through every single trade so you don't have to think at all. And let me tell you something that may sound like an insult, but in trading, not having to think or make judgments is the most important thing you can have, because human judgment is what crushes trading. Emotion is what crushes trading. And that all comes into play when you think. So this takes thinking out of it and it makes it really good. Now, what I'm going to show you after this is the most incredible thing you're going to see in trading. Here's what we're going to look at first. How does it work? Okay, first you get an alert signal. So right here, this green box says long. Let's see if I can zoom in on like this first trade. We'll zoom in on these trades here real quick. So it tells you long, your entry was 67.80, your stop was 67.71, your score is a 6 out of 10, which is a grade B. These can be graded from C all the way up to A+. That doesn't mean A+ trades are going to win every time or C's are going to lose every time. It just means that the conditions are better for the A+ trade than they are for the C trade. I personally still trade them all at an even money trade, meaning each trade is the same amount, whether it's a $100, $1,000, $10,000, whatever you allow for, that's what it is. So it tells you exactly when to get in. You get in at 67.80 and a quarter. You set your stop right away. That's a hard stop. You set it 67.71.75, and then it gives you the score. As you go along, this take profit will appear when it's time to take profit. Now, it can't appear early. I can't give you that number ahead of time because it's a formulaic driven number that says, hey, when the formula starts to change where the market's going to weaken, we need to take some profit, and then we'll see what happens. So what it tells you is, hey, take profit on half your trade, exit here at 68.06. That is a 25.75 point gain off of where you entered. Your realized money is 13 points because you still have half the trade open. You've only closed half the trade, and we've set our stop to break even. On top of this, you can't see it now because the trade is closed. When it does this take profit, it draws a line down here and tells you, here is your stop at break even. It sets your stop at 67.80.25 for you. And when it comes down, now you have to go in and set your stop for your trade, but it shows you on the chart exactly where your stop is. And you come down, you stop out, you got out at 67.80.25 exactly as it said, and you realized 13 points of gain on that trade. It makes it super simple. Now, that simplicity isn't the cool part. I mean, it is. It's very cool. But as we go along here, I want to show you a couple more of these trades because they're really powerful. This long here stopped out. You lost 4 points on that trade. But right now, you got a short here. It was a grade A. You took both profits for a total of 34.50. That was this morning. So on the move down this morning, you got two take profits. Right now, we're in the middle of a short. It's a grade B. This one's a grade A because of where it's located. It's much more near the top of the range. This one's a grade B. It says the conditions are still right for this to go down, however, not nearly as good as they were up here. So this one could stop out. We'll see. But what I want to show you is everybody can tell you about trades and they can go, oh, go back, look at all those cool trades, right? And they can tell you what won. I want TradingView to tell you what won. I don't want you to rely on me to give you some numbers that you don't know are real or not real. So what I did was I had a script built. So if we go into the Squeeze Sniper settings, if you go down here, you can show the trade log. You can go up to 50. So this just shows your last few trades, but the trade log itself is amazing, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're just going to leave it at 15 because it's a very, very big log to have on your screen. That's whatever. Anyway, it's a very, very big box to have on your screen, and but it gives you so much incredible detail. So let's go ahead and click it. We'll hit OK. And what you're going to see, guys, is it goes back 244 trades, and the reason it's 244 is that's as far back as TradingView will give you data on the 15-minute chart. So it goes back for 244 trades. Tells you had 160 wins, 84 losses, 66% win rate. Your average win was 18.5. Your average loss was 675, meaning you're getting 2 out of every 3 trades is a win, and on each of those 2 out of 3, you're winning an average of 3 to 1 more than you lost. So you had 2944 of ES points won, 559 lost for a net of 2384 at $50 a point. That's incredible. And it shows you right here every single trade and what it looked like. So over the last 15 trades, you had a short that netted 34.50. We actually just looked at that one. We had a long that stopped out -4 right here. We just looked at that one. You had a long that won 13 points. We looked at that one. You had a stop out for -875. You had an 18-point winner that went to take profit 2. And what this is telling you is all the red ones, those are stop outs. You had no take profits. If it's blue, it got all the way to the take profit 2. You closed both halves of the trade. And if it's yellow, you got take profit 1, and the other half went out at break even. So over the last 15 trades, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 losers, 11 winners, which again is about 2 to 1. Actually 3 to 1. That's about 75% over your last 15 trades. And you're absolutely killing it. Now the cool part is all you have to do is change the time frame or the symbol, and it will give you this data on every single thing. So I can't just cherry pick one and say, look how good ES did. Let's go to NQ. NQ on the 15, 66% win rate over the last 247 trades. 14,000 points won, 2169 lost for a total of 12,252. An absolutely crushing 247 trades. Again, that's $20 a point on the NQ. Absolutely insane stuff, guys. This is an indicator like you've never seen. That's very Trumpian of me to say, oh, you've never seen anything like this. No one's ever seen an indicator like this. I don't mean it that way. I mean it as I was blown away. I am shocked at the numbers. You're usually looking for a 60% win rate that maybe gets you like 55, 60% on the average win. The numbers we're putting up with this are insane, and it just spoon feeds you everything. So I don't know how to make trading simpler than this. This is the absolute most basic, easiest system to use. All you have to do is read what it says and do what it says, and you're done. You don't have to calculate anything. You don't have to wait for certain trading hours. You can set alerts. You get an alert right to your phone, and it's game on. So to set alerts, just like anything else in TradingView, you come in here, you hit the 3 dots on the IW Squeeze Sniper. It'll say add alert. You click on that. It's going to tell you what you're adding it on. You can do a long entry, a short entry. You can do your take profits, your stop out. All of it can be alerted. And it does give you some other bells and whistles. Personally, those are mostly just visuals. They're like these red down arrows tell you pressure is down. These red green arrows tell you pressure is up. When the green arrows go away, the pressure up stops. So you can see on the very next bar, the green arrow is gone, and then the red arrows come in and pressure is down. So You can set alerts. You can make them audible. So if you come down here to where it says app, toast, email, and sound, I have them all checked because I want everything to go off. And you set that alert and have it sent to your phone. So if this isn't what you're looking for in trading, I honestly don't know what you are looking for. This is in my opinion, if somebody else had this, I would be jumping all over it. And I know I'm marketing my own product, but I don't know what you're looking for if you're not looking for this. It is absolutely incredible. I am genuinely shocked and blown away by the numbers that it puts up. So if we just kind of go through and look, 15-minute is the time frame I typically use because on futures I don't really want to stay around that long. I want to be in and out in a couple hours at most. But you can use it for swing trading and different things. But you can go to the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, we have a 70% win rate over the last 362 trades for 42,000 points, 36,000 net. So if you want to do a little bigger trades, you can do that. On the, let's say the RTY, you have a 71%, almost 72% win rate. Again, 20-point average win, 8-point average loss. Almost 3-to-1 on that, 45.56 over the last 363 trades. You can go to stocks. So if we go to NVIDIA, you got a 67% win rate, 217 points over the last 243 trades. I would be trading options with NVIDIA personally. So you can go to literally anything, check the stats on it, and see how it did over the last hundreds of trades. As far back as TradingView can look, it'll give you the data. Now, the one caveat I would is the daily chart is not as good. So if we go back to the ES, and when I say not as good, that doesn't mean not winning. It's still winning trades, but it is not as reliable on the daily. So if we go to the daily chart, you'll see the win rate is less than 50%, but you're still getting such a big win rate, 86 points to 27 points. You're netting 1,600 points over the last 60 trades. So the win rate not as good on the daily for whatever reason. I can't give you why the daily's less accurate, but it is. And I don't trade futures that way. I built this for futures, but it works on everything. I don't trade futures on a daily context. I trade them on a 15-minute context. So, even though it's built for futures, like I said, it works on whatever. If you want to go to the SPY and trade the SPY, this is again the daily, so not as good. But if you go to the 15-minute chart on the SPY, 67% win rate, average won 2.72 SPY points, average lost 89. So again, 3-to-1 win rate, 369 SPY points over the last 241 trades. Absolutely killing it, guys. It's absolutely killing it. You can see we're in a short on the SPY right now that has taken profit, and you can see right here your stop is set to break even. So when I said it draws a little line and tells you where your stop is, now you know if they come back up to 671.02, you are out of the trade, and you no longer have to sit there and watch. You can set your stop. You can trade it any way you want, options or straight. It's really an incredible tool, and the link for it is down in the description. If you are a person that already has Pivot Point Pro, here's the incredible thing that I will do for you. I will cancel your Pivot Point Pro membership so you're not paying for it anymore. And if you get Squeeze Sniper, you'll keep Pivot Point Pro and you'll only pay the Squeeze Sniper price, which is $77 as the introductory. If you don't get it now, it's going up to $97, probably after March. This is a March Madness deal. So after March, it'll go up to $97. That'll be its normal list price. Right now, I'm doing it for $77, and you can get it for that. And on top of that, if you already have Pivot Point Pro, I will give you a prorated refund on whatever you have, and you keep Pivot Point Pro as long as you have Squeeze Sniper. So I'm trying to give you an incredible deal on it. You also get a couple other things in there with it. All right, that's my spiel on that. Let's get into the markets real quick. If you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about it. All right, let me get that off the chart because it's a monstrosity to have on your chart, but it is incredible data. And this, you can get this. You have this trade log as well, so when you get it, you can see all of these things. The training tells you what all of these are. Again, there's a bunch of bells and whistles, but most of it is just watch the box and trade the trades. All right. So today we won't be. You'll see these trades come up, and you're welcome to take them. I won't be like coaching them like I do the Pivot Point Pro trades, but you are welcome to take these trades at that time. Okay, let's go to The charts. If you didn't watch my closing video yesterday, go back and watch that because I do break down the markets pretty in depth on what we're looking for. Overall, we were looking for this to be an A wave down, a B wave up, a 1 of C, and then this A, B, C for 2 of C, and then a 1 of 3 of C down is building. We'd like that to come down roughly to this low or this low. So you get 1 of 3 of C, 2 of 3 of C breakdown. And overall, that would target, so here's your, this goes here. And oh, contract roll is so dumb. So overall, let me make sure I have these numbers right from the, no, okay. 1 second. Contract roll. So this here to here is 1 and 2. Okay, so we would be looking for them to come down to 65.05 first, bounce from there. So let's put our 3 of 3 at where it goes. Goes right here. So all of wave 3 should come down to 64.10 if we're playing this out normally. Then we should bounce back towards 65.60 and then down to 63.16 for all of wave 5 of C. The bulls still have hope as long as they stay above this wave 4. They have a direct path higher. That direct path higher would be that this is an A, B, and we'd be looking for C up, but this does not look like a C wave, so the bulls' hope is fleeting. But that C wave would take us up to about here for overall a bigger A wave, and then a bigger B wave, and then a bigger C wave towards 71 to 7,300 for new all-time highs. However, I would not be very, what's the word I'm looking for, very confident in that playing out based on this bounce structure here. It's very ugly. This looks very clearly like an ABC right back into the 618, which they rejected, which we talked about last week, this being the rejection point. So this is playing out pretty much how you would expect. And we have Fed today. So we'll see if the Fed can be the catalyst that takes us down. I would expect if this is going to play out the way I think, depending on where we're at, I would expect the Fed to challenge down here and then bounce and maybe even end up back where we are. So that would be 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and then tomorrow and Friday follow through down in 3 of 3 towards 6,500. That's how it should play out. Of course, shoulds don't really cut it in the market. So we always look at structure. We always know where we're wrong. Over 68.45, and that kind of changes things a little bit for the overall structure. NASDAQ is looking pretty much exactly the same, just weaker. It has a very clear lower high setup on its bigger picture, but we're looking at this as a potential wave A down or wave 4 in the bullish context. That's what the little 4 is. Wave B up and then 1, 2 of C. And then we'd be looking for them to break down in 3 of C from here. I am going to go through the comments here and see what you guys have questions about. We only have 10 minutes to the open because my spiel was pretty long. So sorry about that. Let's go up to the top and see how it's going. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, WG Shocker. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, swing trade from yesterday as a monster. So far, looking good. We'd like to see it continue to the downside, but yeah, we shorted that move down, and so far, so good on that. Just Kelly, is it possible for the entry price to change? I thought I saw a price, and then a few minutes later, the entry price changed. So okay. So as you are in the trade, when the trade pops up, it locks in your entry price in the bubble. However, TradingView has limitations. They can't historically give you the exact tick the entry price is on. So you get the entry price as you're making the trade, but historically it will go back to the open or close of the bar. And there's nothing I can do about that. TradingView just has historical limitation ability. So it does give you as you're watching the chart, it will give you the exact tick that the entry price is, and that's where we work off of. Good morning, Jacob. Is this an auto update or something extra we need to pay for? So it is something extra. It can't be the way it works. It won't work in the same indicator as IWJ Pivot Point Pro. It was built more for futures because I've gotten into futures trading lately. I typically have not traded futures in my career, um, for various reasons, and most of them were lack of wanting to learn. To be quite honest with you, I just didn't want to go through the process of learning a whole different um, trading system. And it's not that futures are different in the sense that they don't, they move up and down. I get that, but how they're priced and how the leveraging works and all the stuff with them, I just didn't want to take the time to set up a new account and learn it all. To be honest with you, I'm a creature of habit, and I have been trading options most of my career, and I just stuck with that until lately because I got invited to a futures challenge that I was doing really well in and wanted to learn. Then I decided I wanted to learn again. So anyway, during the alert creation, there's a little logo on the ticker, create alert on SPY. We can select adjusted or not. Any recommendation on how to make the proper selection there? So if I go to, let me go back to the chart that it's on here real quick. Let me see if I can understand your question. Um, oh, create alert on. So this is just telling you that I'm on the NASDAQ right now. So it's telling you you're creating alert on the NASDAQ. But if you don't want to switch charts, you can simply hit this and you can create, I have lists in here that I could use. So you could have other lists, or what you can do is create a list. So let's say you wanted to, I have a couple lists here I'll go over. So I have sniper alerts list. And if you click that, it is ES, RTY, and NQ. And then I can come over here and select that. It's not in there right now because I haven't updated it, but it'll be added in here, and then you can create an alert for that list, and it'll put the 5 minute, 15 minute, or whatever alert on all three of them at the same time, so you don't have to do it one by one. That's all that is. Would this replace current IWJ indicator for us current users? I think I answered that, but I'll answer it again. Oh, just answered it. Thank Brad. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the stream, guys. Arcturian, welcome to the stream. Arcturian, I said, by the way, it's something else, but I told you that I hopefully you heard me say that if you have Pivot Point Pro already, I'm going to give you that basically for free, and you'll pay this price. So you'd pay for Sniper, and you get both of the indicators for the Sniper price, if that makes sense. Signal Goose looks like a great tool. I am options trader on SPY QQQ. Can you explain how the tool would work on options contracts and what you would need to do in real time for it to work? Nothing. I mean, it's not that you need to do anything. Like if we go to the SPY, um, on the 15, I believe there's an alert somewhere. Do I have it turned off? No. I thought we saw Pivot Point Pro. Where did it go? Am I on the wrong chart? I'm on the wrong chart. There it is. Okay. Um, so when this comes up, it tells you your entry is 671.02. So you're just going to enter whatever strike you want. If you want 671 as your strike, and enter it for, if you're day trading, you can enter it for 0 DTE or whatever your time frame is. Your first take profit here was 688.10. So that is that right? Exit 680, 292 SPY point. That's really good. 668.10. I cannot read. Oh my gosh, I was so confused by that. 668.10. So that's a almost $3 move down in two 15-minute bars. That's a huge option win. Huge option win. And it tells you when to take profit. So you're not like trying to cut up here. Like on IWJ Pivot Point Pro, we take 20% off, or take half off at 20%. This one you took half off at a 3-point move. That's insane. That's an insane win right there. So you would just use it as it says and just use options instead. That's all. And welcome to the stream, Signal Goose. Prabs, welcome to the stream. Excited to watch Sniper in action today. All sorted on my end. Thanks for sorting it out so quickly. No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you, Prabs. Bill, can you move the banners to the left so we can see your clock? Helps determine how close in sync our computers are. Where is the clock? Which banner are we talking about? Let me go look at hold on. I got to go look at my setup software so I can see what you're talking about. That is down here somewhere, right? Right here. The oh, the computer clock. I see what you're saying. Yeah, there you go. Like, is that okay? That should be better, I think. If not, let me know. Welcome to the stream, Bill. Robert, welcome to the stream. Jacob, do you mainly use the squeeze indicator on the 15 or 5? What's your preference? My preference is the 15. However, I will tell you that 15-minute trades, you might get one a day, you might get four a day. It just kind of depends on the day. 5-minute chart, you're going to get probably 2 to 4 a day, just depending. So the 5 will get you more trades, and it's just as, if we look at if we look at the log, your this is the 15-minute chart on the SPY, 241, you have a 67% win rate. On the 5-minute chart, you're still getting a 60% win rate on the 5-minute chart. So it's not as good, but it's still very, very good. So I wouldn't, either one is fine. I prefer the 15, but I will trade the 5s as well. I just think the 15s are more accurate. And quite frankly, just better wins overall. This is if we go back to the ES where I like to be. Um, on the 5-minute chart, your average win is 12, and on the 15, I believe it's 18. Yeah, 1850. So you're just getting a better win rate, and obviously on the bigger the time frame, the bigger your stop has to be to kind of play out the range. So you have to understand that your average loss here is 675. I believe on the 5 it might be 4 points or something. So yeah, 450. So you're taking a slightly larger average loss, but you're also getting a 33% better average win and a better win rate. How soon can we purchase? So there's a link in the description. So if you go into the video down below, there is a link for both the yearly and the monthly. Hopefully those work. They worked for my room. I mean, mostly, hopefully I copy and pasted them right. If you click on that, the yearly is 770 right now, and the monthly is 77. But after March, it's going to go to 97 a month and 970. And the reason it's way more expensive is it's just way more accurate and way better and way. I mean, this will pay for itself so fast you'll be shocked. Now, I do want to point out, guys, that you still have to have proper trading discipline, because if you go to the hourly chart, I believe it's the hourly. Yeah, if you go to the hourly chart, it's winning at a 67% clip, almost 68% clip, and huge amount of points and huge amount of average win. However, if you look at the last 15 trades, you have 3 straight losers right here. So you have 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the last 15 were losers. So you're 9 and 6. So just keep that in mind as you trade, that the win rate, you're going to have winning streaks of 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row there, 1, 2 in a row, 2 in a row, and sometimes you're going to have losing streaks. So you have to. Sorry, I'm not ready to trade at all, guys. This has been a little hectic. I need to see where we're at. We are not going to get a trade currently anyway, so we're okay on the IWJ anyway. You can see on the 5-minute chart here on the ES, we had a winner this morning for 16 points so far, and it's still building the second half of this trade. So we can see if the take profit comes up here for the second part. Your stop is up here at 67.81, and you've already taken half the trade off this morning. So on the move down, the market was all over it. Kind of an odd overnight session for a Fed day. A pretty decent move up, followed by a pretty decent move down. So if they're going to follow through, and I think they could, I mean, that's my lean, is that they're going to follow through. Let me turn this thing off. That's my lean. The downside could get ugly today. You do have a max downside here of 663 on the SPY, so that's another basically 50 points on the ES, roughly. So basically 6,700. Let's see what the ES one-day minimum is. Curious. When it processes. Yeah, about 6,700. So about 40 points of downside. That's interesting if they're down here at the Fed, because typically, as we know, as I talk about a lot if you're on this stream, typically what you get is this is your shoreline. We build houses behind the shoreline because we know where the tides come, and this generally stems the tide of the day. However, we do have hurricanes. Hurricanes push the tide past the shoreline and into the houses. And today with the Fed could be a hurricane. But that makes me a little cautious because, and you actually have, I think, for the Fed, a pretty tight range. 6850, which is about 100 points higher than we are now, and 6700, which is about 50 points lower. So, I mean, overall, it's a pretty big range for a normal day, but Fed days can be crazy. So, we'll see if there's a hurricane or if it's going to be kind of choppy today. Like I said, we could see, well, I think for me, the most likely outcome is Fed initial spike is into here. And then by the end of the day, we kind of grind back up in that wave two. So you get 1 of 3 of C, 2 of 3 of C, and then maybe the rest of the week they sell down. That's what we'd be looking for. Right now, IWJ Pivot Point Pro, I can tell you, isn't going to have a trade for a minute. It triggered a long back here, but that long didn't print. Let me see why. Oh, because of the, nope, not the NASDAQ, because of the ES. So part of the new change in IWJ Pivot Point Pro is that on very strong moves, we are filtering out some of the buy and sell signals that are counter trend. So when you have a very strong move down like this, what happens is you get these fake outs, right? You get a start of a move, and then you get a fake out, and then the real move starts. And what that means is buy signals tend to get sold until you get a true cycle that plays out. So what it does is it filters and it says we're not going to take any buy signals right now, even though it's possible to get a reversal because the buy signals are going to be so beat up. You're going to lose so many times on the buy signals that it's not even going to be worth it when you do catch the reversal, because you probably got a buy signal here that failed. You may have got 2 buy signals here that failed. You probably got a buy signal here that failed. You probably got a buy signal here that failed. You may have gotten a buy signal down here that failed in the old indicator. So you're like 5 losses in before you get the actual reversal. So it's looking for an actual reversal that says we're stemming the tide a little bit, and then you can get a sell signal. Or you can get a pullback sell signal and then get a new buy signal and get like the lower high buy signal, which is much more accurate than trying to catch the exact low, or higher low, I should say, not lower high. So those are some of the changes in the filtering of the alerts. So that's why when you say, how come we didn't get a buy here? Well, because you got to buy 16 times on the way down that we're losers, and we want the market to show us that it's going to go higher, not just pretend. So keep those things in mind as we go forward. Do you have any training videos? Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I gave you the training video at the start of this video, so if you didn't watch the start, you can rewind it and watch it. But it does come with training videos, and it's super, 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 super simple to use. I mean, seriously, you read the box and you do what the box says. Enter at 67.8125. Set your stop at 67.8650, and it's a grade B trade, and it traded straight down into here, and you took profit. It told you take half of your profit here, exit at this number. Half of your points realized, or half of your points is 16. So you got 16 points on the move down. You've realized 8 points of win, and it sets your stop on the chart for you. Stop at break even, 67.8125. When it comes up to that, it will put the stop bar on like it did right over here. I mean, it literally tells you what to do. It holds your hand like you're a child crossing the street, and that's what I wanted it to be. Are you trading ES today? Oh, well, we're on ES, aren't we? No, typically SPY, because this is for Pivot Point Pro. So you can see here, just so you can see the different kinds of trades. You had a long here that paid 164 for half the points on the SPY, and again, an options trade that gets you a $1.64 is really, really powerful. And then it stopped at break even, so you netted 82 cents on this one. You had a short here that paid $1.13. Now it didn't pay till after hours, so you got to realize that you got to be able to trade after hours or be ready for after hours. And then it stopped out here on the spike up and the other after hours. Now, things like SPY, I would never hold because it can't stop out. So I would be taking my profit at the close it doesn't know that, so it just tells you where the take profit is. But here I would have taken my profit at the close because you don't want to get stuck with the market opening up here and you had a winning trade and gave it up. I hope that makes sense. So anytime you get to the close on something that you can't trade overnight, like ES, I can close out the trade after hours, so I don't worry about it. But SPY, you cannot, at least on a lot of platforms. You can for like 15 minutes. So this take profit was after hours, so I would have taken profit over here. But the indicator doesn't know that, so it just tells you when to take profit. And obviously, the stop out was probably not at the break even zone um, because it gapped up so high. But it's programmed to tell you the stop was at break even. So anytime price is at or above break even, you should have been out at break even because that's what it's programmed to tell you. So keep that in mind. You should take your profit at the close. Hey, Dad, welcome to the stream. Or a dad. I don't know which it is, but welcome to the stream either way. George, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hear you. See you, I guess. I'm seeing your words. Have we had enough of a buy cycle to get a sell on Pivot Point Pro? No. No, this is a very strong sell cycle. It's going to take a lot of green bars and more than that even. It's not always about the bars. It's about the volume and the momentum and the strength. And you're going to need a lot of strength in green bars to get through a buy signal here because the move down was pretty stout. Oh shoot! You know what? I'm doing a bad job of being a leader. 1 second, guys. I gotta check something. Okay. We're good. I do want to look at the ES for a minute though because I want to see what these. I would look for one more low into this area here because what you have here is kind of a one, two, three, excuse me, three, four, five. That's what I would like to see. Um, so I'd be looking for them to probably fail around 67.58 or so, and then push down off of that if they're going to fail. That would be the most likely area for that to happen. You also have good resistance here on the 5-minute SPY, 21 and VWAP coming together. So the big difference between the two is one is, and the reason it's called Squeeze Sniper is it's targeting squeeze moves. It's targeting where the market is likely to accelerate and push in the direction we're looking for it to go. And Pivot Point Pro is looking for a whole bunch of different things that are different than that. It's looking for reversals of tops and bottoms. Both can be very powerful, but the difference is because squeezes can be kind of measured, if you know what you're looking for, you can take profit at a much wider range or a much bigger take profit than you do on, say, Pivot Point Pro. So on Pivot Point Pro, we take a first win at 20% of our options value. And the reason we do that is because reversals can fail a lot of the time, and we know that that spike up can be a wave 4, it can be a B wave, it can be a wave 2, it can be a something that's going to give us some value but not be a runner, and we can collect on that value. Squeezes are much more likely to be runners, and we can wait until that momentum and run is done and collect at that level, um, and get much wider and bigger payouts that are still very predictable. So that's the really big difference between the two. Is one is kind of a reversal setup where it's looking for tops and bottoms, IWJ Pivot Point Pro, and those are harder to find but can be bigger wins overall. However, to catch the bigger wins, you have to take smaller profits up front, so you kind of get limited in how that winning works. Still a great system. It's still crushing. We're absolutely killing with Pivot Point Pro. Don't get me wrong. It's not like you're going to throw that in the trash. It's just a different way of trading. It's a much more kind of conservative setup that allows it. It's conservative with the ability to have very big trades, whereas Squeeze Sniper is much more um, aggressive in the sense that you're going to get much bigger wins because of how you can measure how squeezes work. Now, you guys that do have Pivot Point Pro, if you're not in my main room, if you just have it outside of that and you come here for this, and you don't always get all the updates, please know that the trades are going to be far less now, and that is a um, that's by design. When we looked at what was being filtered out in the changes, it was almost 80% of the trades being filtered out were losing trades, and then 20% were winning trades, and some of those 20% were very, very big winners. However, if 80% of those trades are losers and you have a handful of big winners, you are still a net loser overall. So it made a lot more sense to um, basically use the 80-20 rule on that and say, if we're getting 80% of the losers out and we have to sacrifice a few winners to do that, and our win rate goes up by 15, 20, 30%, that's a big deal. And that's what we're seeing overall. So you're going to have far less trades. We may or may, like yesterday, we didn't have a single trade, and that's okay. I mean, that's an okay thing not to trade. If the conditions aren't right for the way that indicator trades, then it shouldn't be trading. That not trading is a position, or cash is a position. So don't think that more trades equals more money. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Trade less, trade better setups, make more money. That's how it works. Does Squeeze Sniper use all three symbols, ES, or just the single symbol currently loaded? It is specific to whatever chart you are on. So while they all tend to trade in step, it is specific to this. So if you look at the 5 minute here, the SPY entered at 8:10. If we go over to the ES, I believe it might have entered at 8:10 on ES because those are basically the same. But the NASDAQ didn't enter until 8:10, so they all entered at the same time. All right, well, they all entered at the same time. Here's a good thing. So this take profit 2 is different than take profit 1. And different, I mean worse. So theoretically, in your mind, you might say, hey, take profit 2 should be better. No, take profit 2 is, as long as the system is continuing to see momentum, we're going to let it run. But if that momentum starts to fade, we are going to get out of the trade because the likelihood is starting to shift to a bigger bounce um, as opposed to taking that gamble. So you get a slightly less payout here, and this will be on bar close. The take profit here has every opportunity to be higher, because if it says we wanted to get more down here but it didn't work out, we don't want to lose it all the way back up here where the stop was, and the stop is now gone because take profit is hit. So this trade will close out, and it will be on bar close. Does the stop change as the trade progresses? So current one is break even. Will it move down? No, it does not change ever. So that's not true. So you get the initial stop, which is on this one, it was 25,081. So you're set your stop wherever that is, up here somewhere. And then when you hit here, you'll get that red line at break even. And then because take profit 2 has been hit, that red line goes away so you're not confused. Um, and uh, and that's the only two stops you get. You get the one you got initially, and you get the one after you take profit one at break even. In this trade, you can see, guys, there's going to be times I would have already taken profit here as soon as it said to take profit. But again, TradingView is limited in how it can process data. So the calculation for this trade is going to be, likely with 248 left up here somewhere. I mean, it could fail still here, but my point is if it closed right here, that's 991. You could have got 30 points better if you just closed out when it told you to. But the final tally is what goes in that table. So that evens out because there's going to be, bars that close down here where it said take profit and it goes down, and there's bars that close up. So I don't want you to think that that doesn't even out. So you're going to get better and worse than what the take profit actually says because it has to be on bar close. Um, but those things will even out as far as how calculations work. For instance, this is a negative right here. You could have got it had take profit all the way down here at 54, and right now we're at 88. So that's 30 points in the negative so far. Could be better, could be worse, depending on how this last minute and a half goes. But my point being, I don't want you to see take profit here and you took profit and then it lists down here on the chart, way down here, that you got these extra points and you didn't get them because you took take profit when it said to. It goes both directions. Squeeze is 77 a month or 770 for the year right now. After the promotion, it will be 97 and 970. But like I said, if you already have Pivot Point Pro, you get to keep that for free. I will refund you whatever payment you're on. So if you're on the yearly, you'll get a prorated refund for that. If you're on the monthly, you'll get a prorated refund for that. We'll cancel that recurring payment and it will just shift over to the Squeeze and you'll have both of them. If you don't, then it is what it is. You got to either pay for both or just pick one. But to reward customers who have been loyal to me and supported me and been part of my team, that's what I'm doing up front. So that's the promotion. You also get options trading, including the Greeks, as well as price action trading, two modules out of TradeWaves Academy. So it's a pretty good deal. There's links in the description. You can go down and see what you get. It's not a full sales page. It's literally the checkout page because I haven't had time to get a full sales page done. Those take a lot of time. And I thought that this would, I talk to you guys most every week. I know I have new people on here every week too, but, um, for most of you know who I am and what I stand for and what I talk about. And I don't try to ever screw anybody. So I try to be fair. This project took years of work. I can tell you that when the first iteration of IWJ Pivot Point Pro came out, if you remember, there was crossover and cross under alerts. That was what we were trying to figure out with the squeezes. That was 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. So this took 2 years to figure out. It was a lot of work and research and trial and error, and that gets given to you guys in a wrapped up. Hey, here it is, without having to do any of that work. So there is some value in my time. And I try not to. I try very hard to not put out anything or support anything that I don't believe in. I only promote two products, TradingView and MentorQ, because I love those two products. I don't chill things because they're good just because they will give me money. I'm not over here telling you to get on Bitly or some stupid Bitcoin platform because they'll give me $100 for everybody that signs up. I don't use them. And if I don't use them, I'm not recommending them. I don't think that's authentic or valuable or even genuine to do that to people and say, no, it's a great platform. Really? How's it work? I have no idea. I don't use it, but it's great. That's bullshit. If you don't use it, don't tell me it's great because you don't know. And that's how I feel about things. And I don't like to put out things that are shit. So this took a long time to put together before I was happy with it. There were lots of versions of it that were successful, but not nearly as good. And, you know, we finally this year got a breakthrough on how to figure this out, and we're very excited about it. And now I can put it out. So, uh, everybody is so conditioned to know, and rightly so, or believe that the people on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere else are scammers or um, idiots or whatever you want to call them. And I don't think most of them are genuinely scammers. I do think there are people out there who are trying but don't really know what they're doing and put out miserably bad stuff. And then there are scammers. I mean, there are people out there who will take your money and give you shit and not care about it, and that's just not who I want to be. So that's why I do lives a lot, so I can interact with you guys and answer questions, and not just put out a polished video that makes me look all cool and tough and handsome, even though I am all of those things. I am all of those things. I don't want you to assume that. I want you to know it. So anyway, that's me talking why we have nothing to do. And this is why there's your take profit 2 on the SPY, by the way. Total net on that was 2. Understood you have to get it in the pre-market, so you probably went ES on this route. But point being, your take profit came through here. So 2 winners, a double winner on that one. Um, so a nice win on Sniper for that trade. And that tells me that we're likely to get a slightly bigger bounce here. It may not be a huge bounce, but this tells me that the strength to the downside is weakening. And because it's Fed day, that could very, very well mean this for the next 3 hours until you get to the Fed and then you figure out which way we're going. Fed days are miserable. They're either super duper choppy or crazy swingy and until the Fed, and then they're crazy swingy after that too. While we got a second, we can go over and take a look at the indicator page here. Let me go find it. Hold on. I don't have it readily available, so let me go to do that. And it's up here. One second. So here is, let me make sure you guys are seeing the right thing here. Yeah. Here is the, this is the yearly page. So it's 770 for the year. You're getting Squeeze Sniper, you get our options trading plus the Greeks, which is normally a 2 hour. It's a 2 hour course. It's normally $67. Our price action trading, that's a 2 hour course. It's normally $67. And then note, if you have Pivot Point Pro already, you get a prorated refund and maintain access to that for as long as you have Squeeze Sniper. So you're getting all of that for $770 a year, and that's for the yearly one and the monthly. Same deal, except you're just doing it for monthly. So it's going to be 97 a month. You're getting it for 77. You're getting the Greeks. You're getting price action trading, and then same deal. If you have the monthly Pivot Point Pro, you'll get a refund on that, and you'll have that as long as you have Sniper as well. So those links are in the description. Let me know if those links aren't working. I pasted them in there. They should be fine, but sometimes I paste wrong because uh, well, I move fast. I do a lot of things too fast. Vesuvian, you commented in my room to put the translation function on in the video. My answer to that is okay. My question is, how do I do that? So I'll Google that and see if I can figure that out. I have no problem doing it. I would love to hear my voice in Italian. I hope it's not subtitled. I hope it like translates my voice. That'd be amazing. And then I'll just say a whole bunch of love things and send it to my wife in Italian. But I don't know exactly how to do that yet. So if I can figure that out, you can call me a boomer, I guess these days. I'm getting old. Uh, I will do that. Is IWJ Pivot Point Pro and Squeeze Sniper separate subscription or the same? They are separate subscriptions, but because I try to be fair to my people who support me. If you already had Pivot Point Pro, then I'm going to let you keep it for just the price of Squeeze and not make you pay two separate. If you didn't, then unfortunately that you don't get that benefit. The thing is, I think I don't trade it. The Nasdaq, I trade the ES and I've been dabbling in Nasdaq here a little bit, but ES and SPY are mostly what I trade. But RTY has been the one that's been really killing on Sniper. If we go over there real quick, let me make sure we aren't going to get any kind of, no, we're not through a buy cycle or anything yet. Um, Let me go to RTY. It's been crushing. It hasn't even taken its take profit 2 yet, but probably will very soon. Um, let's put on that chart real quick. So this is the 5 minute. Let's go to the 15. Yeah, its win rate is almost 72% on the 15. I mean, that's an incredible win rate when you consider that your average win is 10 points at $20 a point. So it's $200 a, uh, I'm sorry, this is $50 a point. Yeah, RTY is $50 a point. So that's $500 per trade on average. And you're losing about $200 a trade on average, a little less than that. And you're netting, over the last 252 trades, you've netted 1,500 points at $50 a trade. So it's killing. It's only had three losers in the last 15 trades, so it's 12-3. Um, so really been strong on RTY, if that's your thing. And you can make it. So what's really cool about this trade log, by the way, since we're just kind of chilling right now, um, you can literally track your own success. So I haven't made it so you can change the top, but you can change the bottom down here. So if you go into the trade log, let's say you say, okay, I've had 10 trades on the RTY. I want to see what my success in the last 10 trades on the RTY is. You can put in 10, and it's going to give you just your trades that you physically made, so you can track it here and have it all summarized. Um, it's still going to always look all the way back. I haven't put in a filter for that. I guess I could. Um, but you can track your own trades in the bottom here up to your last 50 trades and just see what you want to see here. So I think that's kind of a cool feature as well because it's kind of a trade log for you that you don't have to fill out, which for me is always great because I hate filling out my trade log. It's so annoying. Speaking of annoying, let's turn the trade log off. Um, I think the most likely outcome is chop here over the next X amount of bars. Like I said, you got the Fed this afternoon. The market's already made two pretty big moves today. If you look at the, like 30-minute chart or whatever, they already gapped up to a new high over yesterday's high, and they've already gapped it down or shot back down off of that pretty strongly down towards yesterday's low. So two pretty strong moves already before the Fed, which is kind of rare. Either you usually get like a trend day in one direction or the other, or you get a lot of chop. And so far we've had two moves. So you could see chop the rest of the day today. I wouldn't be too optimistic that you're going to see a huge move. Um, and as always, no matter what indicator, no matter what system, no matter what you're talking about, I will not be trading the Fed, period. No matter if this says short the Fed, as soon as the Fed starts talking, I will not be shorting. It's just too volatile because, one, short the Fed could be absolutely right, in the sense that you get in a trade here, in 3 seconds it's down here. You missed your take profit because in 3 more seconds it was back up here. And the move was right, but you just can't keep up with it. It's too fast. And um, I would not be interested in anything until um, after the first probably two 5-minute bars. I'd probably give them 10 minutes of kind of settle down and then be a little bit weary at 2:30 when old Jerry starts talking. Jerry inflation is transitory Powell. There's no inflation coming. I'm Jerry Powell. Anyway, don't get me started on him. Not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan of most Fed though. The Fed's kind of a useless entity in my opinion. Wendy, not sure if you're on the live stream, but if you are, I've seen your message, and I, I'll have to ask questions about that. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but maybe is the answer. I don't know. I'm not sure. One way or another, I think we can figure something out, but I don't know the exact answer. Almost through a buying cycle here where you could get a sell signal, but not yet. And if they start selling now, maybe not. Just depends. Another lackluster Wednesday. This time, just no trades because that's interesting. So the red arrow is part of squeeze. It is a pressure down arrow. It means that um, even though the bar is moving, whether the bar is moving up or down, it's telling you that pressure is starting to build to the downside. The key to the arrows, though, the key to those arrows is you want to see a range break. And what I mean by that, so if this bar, let's say this bar is like there, right? And it's got this red arrow. If the next one also has a red arrow, you want to see it get below, or the low of this bar is there. You want to see this one break that low. If that one breaks that low, that usually indicates that the pressure is going to release to the downside, and they're going to make at least a small move down, to possibly a big move down, depending on. I mean, we're on the 5-minute chart, so probably Not that big, but you got to remember pressure starts somewhere. It probably started on the 1 minute chart. Now it's moving into the 5 minute chart. It'll move into the 15, 30, or it'll only make it to the 5, and that's as far as it gets. Um, so um, keep that in mind. Those pressure arrows just mean that conditions are building and pressure is building for the market to sell and continue moving in the downward direction. Unless, of course, they get wiped out. But if we go back to like the ES, let's see if I can find an example of them. So these are triangles, these are arrows, two different things, by the way. So let's see, where did these start? So over here, you got a very small move, very small move up, hardly anything at all. I would not even call it a move up. So the reason those are just there to give you an idea. They're not there to trade, but just to give you an idea of what's going on underneath the hood. If they stay in that form and then they start to move to the upside, then you'll see a trade um, start to happen. But it gives you the idea that, hey, pressure's building. You could get along if the market is starting to break out here. Um, and then let's see if we can get. And then you have this red dot here. This tells you negative divergence is building. So this is kind of a override. So you see these up arrows, and yes, the market did move up here a little bit and even fired along. So you see the arrows, the market moved up, it fired along. But over here it says, hey, some negative divergence is building, pay attention. And as you go across, it can take a minute for negative divergence to play out, but you can see once it goes through the negative divergence, it builds, 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 plays out. So there's lots of little, like I said, bells and whistles. You can turn those off if you find them confusing, if you don't like them. Everything can be turned off in the settings. The pressure up and down arrows, you can just click that and it'll turn them off. The divergence dots you can turn off. I wouldn't turn any of these top things off. I want my ranking in the entry box. I want my take profit bubbles. I want my stop after take profit one. I want my entry box and I want my entry markers. Um, but everything else, I mean, that's up to you. If you want to keep the divergence dots in the arrows, they're just there for like I said, bells and whistles. It's like trim on the car. You got the LTX package or the LT package. You know, if you need the wooden trim or whatever, then you get it. You really need to change your live trading days. There's no doubt, man. It's rough. It is. It is a. It is Wednesdays have been rough. Just had to re-enter here, but you had asked before. I'm sorry, I can't read. Just had to re-enter here, but you had asked if below links are working. I just purchased the new squeeze as a current IWJ member. Do I still need to create an account? As is asking. Yes, you do. It's on a different platform. I'm switching, trying to switch where the money goes because Stripe and PayPal both suck. They are both fee suckers, and so I'm trying to go a different route. So unfortunately, yes. And I know that that's a pain in the butt, and I'm sorry, but it is a it is a headache to deal with those companies. They are thieves. Does it work on the 1 minute chart? You know, I don't trade the 1 minute, but I guess we can look because it'll tell you. So let's go check it out. We're on the futures right now. Well, we could actually get a sell signal here. Mm, let me see here real quick. We'll go to the 1 minute and we will go to here and do the log and hit OK. Yeah, 65%, 200 wins, 690 net points. Your average win is 6, your average loss is 2. So yeah, it works fine. You're not, I mean, you can see you're getting little wins, but little, as my dad used to say, little eggs are better than no eggs at all. All right, we need to go over to the SPY real quick. It's certainly possible we could get a trade here. What day is today? Today is the 18th. So it is Fed day, which means options prices are in fact elevated, which stinks, but that is what it is. I am on a 668 strike right now. If we do happen to get a sell signal here, we may or may not get one. It's really going to depend on how this bar closes. If this bar closes strongly down, we may not, because ES is tipping between in a buy cycle and a weakening sell cycle. It's kind of back and forth. We'll see. But the stronger this move is down, the less likely we are to get a sell signal, unless this bar is a little bit green. So we'll see. So as I said, when you get these arrows and they break the prior low, that is usually with an arrow. So you got an arrow down and they set it, and then this one broke it. That is an indication that you're likely to get some follow through. Unfortunately, that follow through came at exactly the right time to screw us out of the trade. We could have waited one more bar, we would have had this. So again, I mentioned I'd like this to be a 4-5 because we don't have one, so this would be a really nice wave 4, wave 5, and then look for a bounce later. Um, but they got to break these lows, and these lows may give us a little bit of a bounce here now. Super annoying on that one. That was a that was a winning trade already. But that's the way it goes. You know, you gotta trade what you get, and you don't. My daughter would say you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Um, let's go see if RTY ever cashed out. They stopped out on that one. That was a winner. Okay, that ended up being a stop on the. Oh, this is the 1 minute chart. Oh, well, yeah, that move down was too much for ES. Let's go to the 5 minute chart. That's where I was thinking we should be. Yeah, there we go. Take profit 1 on RTY. Has not had its take profit 2 yet, so it's still happy to see some downside. We got 11 points down there, and still working on this one. Let's see here. Let's see if NQ's got anything moving. They already did their take profit 2. ES is still on take profit 1 on its 5 minute trade from back here. Very nice. Um, So hopefully they break this low from the pre-market, and we get that 4-5 and get a take profit 2 down here. And guys, if you did sign up, I very, very, very much appreciate it. And also, I will give you access as soon as possible. It's really hard to do when I'm doing these lives. So um, we'll go a little bit longer here. I'm gonna see if they break the low and see how that goes. But it's unlikely we're gonna get a sell signal now because the Nasdaq and ES are now no longer in cahoots. In other words, one is in a buy cycle and one was not, and that can affect the signals you get because of the chop that is created. Do you plan to take profit at 20% as usual on the swing, or are we being more greedy? No, we should take profit at 20%. I haven't even looked at that honestly. Did it hit it? If it did, it had closed already on mine. And when I'm doing the lives, I try to automate everything so I don't have to pay attention, but I forgot that I need to make sure I have that set up for everybody. Let me go see. 1 second. Almost. Almost. I think if they break this low, we should be able to nab it. I'd like to get a sum off the table no matter what before the actual Fed. Um, so if we're still down in this area and we haven't taken any profit, then I will likely take some off before 2 so that we can at least have some profit to work against any bounce that may occur. Never take anything for granted when trading. If you think the market's going to go down and that's your opinion, that's awesome. Hopefully it's well formulated, but well formulated opinions fail. I have had many of them that failed. And that doesn't mean I'm a bad trader or I don't know what I'm talking about. It means that the market's really hard. And if everybody knew how to plan the market perfectly, we would all be billionaires, right? So never be afraid to adjust your view on the market and never make that think that you're a failure because that's an ego thing. And don't get me wrong, I battle ego. I am a winner at heart. So things that cause me to lose cause me a lot of mental pain. Uh, in anything. Like if I lose at Monopoly, I get mad. But I have learned after blowing up 2 accounts in my younger days and not knowing what the hell I was doing that ego in trading just ends to end of money or end game only if you want to do acronym. Um, so I'm never afraid to say I'm wrong and switch my trade or stop out or do anything because what do I gain by staunchly saying I'm right when the market is staunchly moving against me? I gain less money. That's a good thing to gain, right? Nope. Um, and then when I'm wrong and I've lost money, well, that's like a double punch in the face. Like, especially like if you're wrong and you lost more money than you allotted, right? So just never be afraid to say you're wrong. It's fine. There's going to be another trade literally in the next tick. I can trade now. I can trade now. I can trade now. I don't want to trade now. There's nothing to trade. But my point is being wrong is fine. I mean, how many undefeated champions are there in all of sports? Like 5? I mean, it is so hard to be perfect, and in the market, it's impossible to be perfect. The faster you understand that losing is part of trading, the better trader you will be. And not only part of trading, losing is necessary in trading. Do we move the stop for the swing trade? Not yet. We will, but not this minute. When we take profit, we'll move it down a little bit. Feel free to, by the way. Don't just because I said no. If your risk tolerance says, you know what, I'd rather just sit with a break even at worst, please do. Don't do anything because I do it. I trade my own way because I'm comfortable with what I do, and that's me. I simply tell you what I'm doing so that if you want my opinion, that's what you get. But you know what? They're opinions and a-holes. They're all the same. Everybody has one. Uh, so just do what your risk tolerance allows without making you have severe anxiety about the market. If you're staying up late worrying about a trade, then you are trading outside of your comfort zone. And that's good when you want to learn, but outside of your comfort zone should mean still trading properly. Like a lot of people outside of their comfort zone means, you know what? I have a winner. I need to let that winner run and trust my stop. And if I get stopped out, that's okay. That's trading outside of your comfort zone in a positive way. Trading outside of your comfort zone in a negative way is saying I have 80% of my bankroll down on this trade, and if it goes wrong, I'm screwed. I can't pay the bills. That's bad. So if you're up at night worrying about trades, you likely have too much money in the position. I don't worry about any trade ever, ever. Because if I lose, I still have like 100 more trades I can make at that same price point and still be fine. And I know that the odds of me losing 100 straight trades are about the same odds of winning the lottery. Not likely. So you have to trust what you're doing and trade in your comfort zone as far as what makes sense. I would not be mad at anybody if they move their stop to break even right now on that trade. I would not say you're an idiot. It's perfectly reasonable, especially with Fed coming this afternoon. And to be honest, if we are sitting about where we're at now, I'm not going to step over dollars to pick up pennies. 1551 is the target for the take profit, and if we're right now we're at about 1522. I'm not going to say, oh, I couldn't take profit because I was 30 cents away right before 2 o'clock when the market could move 50 points against me in a snap of a finger. That's silly. Take the profit at 18% and be happy. You can adjust to the surroundings. You can adjust to what makes you feel comfortable and what's smart, quite frankly. Now, if you only have a little bit of money down and you're like, no, I want to take the chance that the Fed could go 50 points in my direction. And if I'm wrong, I'm out $10. But if I'm right, I'm up 100. And I'm using very small numbers there. I get it. That's fine. But don't let a full size trade or a larger size trade ride against something that, when you're in the money, when you're green, something that can erase that instantly. Just got filled on your 20%. Nice job. Nice job. I'm almost there. It's 1551 for me, and we're not quite there. Right now, I can look at the chart and I can use my bells and whistles, all of them. And I can say we're pressing on support here, and we have downward pressure arrows, and I'm willing to give them a chance to break down here because if they do break down, it can waterfall. Question on the interval for alerts for buys, weekly timeline. Are you preferring buy alert or buy alert and stop? Um, you're talking about Pivot Point Pro, I assume. And if you're asking on the weekly, I just would look for the buy alerts. I don't care about the stop too much. Um, well, no, if you're gonna flip, yeah. So stop, buy alert and stop is fine. You can do that. I usually check it, so I don't I don't like my phone blowing up. The only thing I have alerts for are now Squeeze, Sniper, um, because I just hate alerts. I hate my phone blowing up, and um, if you have too many alerts, it goes crazy. Uh, so I try to keep them to a minimum, and things like the weeklies I can scan on Friday. And if I miss one, like I missed one on the Spy a few weeks ago, and that was my fault because I was off that Friday or something. I forget what it was, but I wasn't in front of the computer, and I missed one. I'm okay with missing trades. That's not gonna hurt my feelings. Um, okay, there we go. So we just got filled on our swing trade, guys. So that's a 20% win. That was a $2.60 so far. So we're gonna close a third for 20%, or 1551 in my case. Excellent. Always good to close winners. And there is that 4-5 I was looking for earlier, guys. So we now the move down here looks a lot better from my point of view. Again, I think the Fed could really spike down first and then bounce a little bit after that. That would be my gut, but we'll see where we're at exactly when the Fed gets going. Let me look at the chart here to figure out the stop, and then we'll go from there. I'm also a little perturbed that we missed that sell signal. We didn't miss it, but they didn't give it to us because it wasn't where we wanted it. Okay, so we had 68 to 25 up here. Where is our likely? Let's look at this. Let's just assume they come down to roughly that low. Let's move our stop down to 67. Let's move it down to 67.80. Where does that put us in relation to this? Let's actually do 67.87. 67.87 will be our stop for the rest of that for now. And guys, I realize that's a wide stop, but you got to remember we're all the way out to mid-April, and we're looking for a much bigger move down. So we've got a little bit of profit to work with. And if it stops us out, we'll probably end up, round break even or a little less. I don't know, somewhere in that range. But I'm looking for a much bigger trade than 20%. The 20% is simply to combat if we do get stopped out. The other 2/3 is to run. So what did I say? 67.87. So we moved it down about 40 points there. And they could come down here. So I was thinking a bigger spike down, but they could come down here into the 1-day min. That would be a perfect wave 5 area. And then for Fed, kind of give it this kind of bounce back up toward these areas and then come down. We'll have to see how it plays out. They could bounce back up to here and then close down here. There's a lot of different ways this can play out. You could get a hurricane straight down. There's a lot of things that can make this go because it's Fed day. Fed day is always kind of challenging. Can you trade options and futures with Sniper? Yeah, you can trade anything you want. You can just buy the stock if you want. All it's telling you to do is where to enter and where to exit, and where to stop. Now, all you're going to do is if we go to a trade here, so let's go look at one of our, let's go to 5 minutes here because I know ES will give me that. Am I on the wrong chart? I am. So it tells you where to enter. So if you're going to trade options, you can say, okay, it told me to enter at 68 or 67.81. So that's future. You can trade futures numbers. You can trade options off of this level. So you could short the SPY and pick up whatever entry that is, or you can just go to the SPY. It'll give you that as well. You can just buy or sell the SPY or whatever chart you're on, NVIDIA. You can do all of those things. All it's doing is saying this is where you enter the short. This is where you take your first profit on the short. And then over here somewhere is where you're going to take profit 2 on the short, and wherever that is. And you can navigate that with options. You can navigate that by buying and selling. It's not making any trades for you. You make the trades. It's telling you where to get in and where to get out. And welcome to the stream, Gooseberry. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. We're not going to get any trades anytime soon. They are, we've moved into trend day status to the downside, essentially. Not quite, but essentially. We've also got this move right here kind of screwed us with the ES and how it's going to translate that. So let me just double check. Can we get a buy signal? Let me see what we got. No, we can't even get a buy signal. So yeah, you're going to, and then we're going to roll into Fed here in a couple hours. So we'll see how they continue the rest of the day. We've got the 4-5. I would expect a bounce, honestly. That doesn't mean they can't go down first, but I would expect them to come back up into those levels I gave earlier, which were roughly the 67.75 area or so. And that would be the more typical move. But there's one thing to remember, that sometimes, especially on short sells, when you get elevators, sometimes you get the elevator down and wave Cs don't respect the count. in the sense that you don't get a 1-2, you just get a 1-2 of 3. So normally what you'd look for, if we go to the bigger chart here, is you would look for, this is 1 of C, 2 of C. Now 3 has its own 1-2. That's what we call 1-2, 1-2 setup. So that would be 1 of 3 of C. Normally you would get a 2 of 3 of C. However, on C waves, and this is a differentiator between a C wave and a wave 3, on C waves, sometimes you don't get this wave 2, you just get this. They break this low, and it's off to the races. Towards 65.05 would be the next target, actually. So it's certainly possible they drill it to the downside, but with that 1-day minimum being where it's at, I would look for a little bit of a bounce here, and we'll see what happens after that. But the bears are doing their job. That is the key takeaway. The bears are doing their job. The structure is there. Everything looks right for them to continue. And until that breaks, the bears are in control. All right. Any other questions before I sign off? I'll give you guys a few seconds here to put in a question if you have one. Thank you, Jacob. Got thumbs up from me. Worst day trading is better than best day working for somebody. Yeah, that's a fact. And really, it wasn't a bad day trade. We've cashed in a little bit of our swing trade from yesterday. We went swing short yesterday based on the structure. We didn't have any losers. We just didn't have any trades. And if you had sniper, you had some winners. Depending on when I got it to you. Sorry, I did it as fast as I could. Right before bed is when I put it out, and when I was up late, so I got you guys as quick as I could in the morning. But sniper had a bunch of winners today, so that's good. And we're still running winners right now. If we go back over, you're still in the middle of a short on ES. That is currently that was 67.20 down here, so that was 60 points down so far on that one. Obviously, the take profit 2 hasn't hit yet, but the first part of it was a 16-point drop, and then 60, right? 67. Yeah, 60 points. That's on the 5-minute there. Do we have a 15 going, or did that? Yeah, a double winner on that 15. This one stopped out, but you had this double winner on the 15 for a total of 46 points. Yeah, it's a good day. On the NQ, you had a double winner for 111, 140. Is that? I can't see. My eyes are so bad, guys. That's really small on my screen. Is that 141 or 111? 111. You had 111 there. The second one did stop out on the 15, and then on the 5-minute chart. Oops, that's 3 minutes. I guess you could use it on the 3-minute chart. Why not? 5-minute chart, you had a 79-point winner. I mean, just absolute amazing today. Just absolutely amazing. Yeah, it should. So just go through the videos, Robert, and thank you very much, by the way. Go through the videos; they'll show you. But once you get access, I have to give you access, and then once you get it, if you go to indicators right here, and you go to invite only, it'll be in there. Okay. All right, guys, let's go ahead and shut it down here. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. We'll be back next Wednesday if you're not in our group. I will have a closing video today, but I will not have one Thursday or Friday. Friday I don't do them, and Thursday is March Madness. I'll be out for the afternoon. So go Cats. See you guys next week if you're not in my rooms, and thank you very much.